Just 3 days after announcing they had signed defenseman Mitchell Miller, the Boston Bruins have rescinded the contract offer, saying the team dropped the ball with its internal vetting of Miller.
I'm extremely upset that we have made a lot of people unhappy with our decision. I take pride in the Bruins organization and what we stand for, and we failed there.
He's not coming into the NHL. He's not eligible at this point to come into the NHL. I can't tell you that he'll ever be eligible to come into the NHL.
Miller was selected by Arizona in the 4th round of the 2020 draft, but the Coyotes relinquished his draft rights after more was revealed about assault charges he faced as a juvenile for bullying a black classmate with developmental disabilities in middle school. We're joined now by sports management professor Taylor McKee. Taylor, how could an organization as big as the Boston Bruins make a mistake like this? What is the vetting process for players to make it into the NHL?
The first step is recognizing that it is a mistake in the first place. And a mistake is the way to position this, and not simply a market inefficiency or many of the other ways that these things are justified internally. Recognizing that there is no hockey-related reason to make a decision like this is the first sort of step, because that, in sort of addressing that part, you sort of answer the question is, well, this internal calculus, how much bad PR are we going to endure for this potentially amazing player? Well, this is not really that simple of a matter in terms of measuring how many days of questions they're going to get asked vis-a-vis maybe perhaps a decade of productivity. Front offices in the NHL need to start imagining the fact that these are reflections of their organizational values and not just players on a chessboard. This is something that is far, far larger than simply what their stats were in junior, or who they sort of represented for Team Canada, for instance, or something like that, or Team USA in the case of this player. I mean, every single decision is a reflection of organizational values and culture, and I think the Bruins have learned a hard lesson.
And there are so many young people watching these teams and their decisions. Well, Professor, both the Coyotes and Bruins initially drafted Miller despite knowing about his assault conviction. Both reversed course after criticism and learning more about the assault from the victim's family. Why does the NHL continue to perpetuate a forgive and forget culture?
I mean, for too long, the NHL just hasn't taken these issues seriously, first and foremost, and has believed that ostensibly that as long as these decisions were based and rooted in competition-related reasons, they could justify any number of things, and they can sort of justify it under the banner of second chances or redemption arcs or any of these sort of things. The truth of the matter is, this is a league. This is the best league in the world. This is an absolute privilege to be a part of professional sports in general, and this is just to call it a privilege is frankly an understatement. But every single player who is a part of professional sports is chosen to be there. And that's the part that really has become lost on us, is that this is not anything given to anyone. No one is entitled to this opportunity. So each individual team makes choices about who they're going to bring into this very, very, very select group. Now, if you've made decisions about including new members to this special club that are based on strictly competitive reasons, then you have lost essentially the point that it's what we just talked about previously, which is that every time you make a choice like this, we're allowed to infer things about you as a person and you as a team and you as an organization. And that tells me about how I want to spend my sports dollars or my attention. So we can't any longer sort of imagine these things as only competitive related reasons to make decisions like this. We have to imagine them as reflections of the institutional ethics that they're supposed to represent.
They certainly need to reshape their thinking. Thank you so much, Professor McKee, for joining us tonight.
Thanks so much for having me.